Chapter 14, 17. Cooperating with Thousand Transformations. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. This was basically what happened. As mild wind blew across the sand dune, Fairy Quibo explained her side of the story. According to her, she was trying to find Western Desert Zombie Alliance's inheritance, but she met with Heavenly Court's Goo Immortals, the Heavenly Court. Goo Immortals seemed to be familiar with her, knowing that she was Thousand Transformations' ancestor's concubine. Even though Fairy Quibo used his name as deterrence, their animosity grew deeper. In the process of fighting, Fairy Quibo was hit by the Heavenly Court Goo Immortals' killer moves. Most of her goo worms were destroyed. Fortunately, she met with Lu Guanyi and the others. It turned out that Heavenly Court was chasing after Lu Guanyi. The enemy of an enemy is a friend. Lu Guanyi thus saved Fairy Quibo and fought to escape from Heavenly Court's pursuit. But because they were hit by Heavenly Court's investigative killer move, during this period they had been escaping. They could not split up, as the enemy would just attack them separately. All in all, Ying Wuxi described it with great detail, and some of his words almost could make others feel they personally experienced the situation. The truth was, ever since Fang Yuan and the rest captured Fairy Quibo, they had excavated most of the information about Thousand Transformations. Ancestor from her soul, Fang Yuan and the others came up with many plans to deal with all the possible situations. Ying Wuxi's description was a mix of truths and lies. Fang Yuan and the others turned from enemies to benefactors. While Feng Zhuge also appeared, his description was very realistic and did not have much tampering in it. The story was flawless because Fang Yuan and the others had thought about it intensely. The only problem was, Fairy Quibo had lost all of her immortal goo and a large portion of her mortal goo in battle. This was too coincidental. But there was no choice. If Thousand Transformations' will wanted Ying Wuxi to show his immortal goo, that would be a disaster. After all, the goo worms that Fairy Quibo had were filled with her will. Ying Wuxi could not use them. The truth was, when Fairy Quibo got captured by Bai Ningbing, she had already detonated all of her goo worms, leaving no resources to the enemy. Thus, Fang Yuan and the rest had to say this to make up for the huge flaw. Dancer Hong Yun had a shocked expression on her face. She looked at Fairy Quibo, not expecting her to have met with such incredible danger. And the truth was, Bai Ningbing, He Lu Lan and the others were very surprised. Because Ying Wuxi's acting was excellent, he showed no flaws. It was natural and believable. When did Ying Wuxi acquire such a skill? He Lu Lan was slightly surprised. Only Fang Yuan was not surprised at Ying Wuxi's performance. Because he had already lent attitude goo to Ying Wuxi. With this rank 8 immortal goo, Ying Wuxi's acting was naturally flawless, especially when he was up against a rank 7 goo immortal and the will of a rank 8. If Thousand Transformations' ancestor was here personally, it might be a problem, but Ying Wuxi could completely handle these two right now. Success, be it Dancer Hong Yun or a Thousand Transformations' will, they did not doubt Ying Wuxi's words. Fang Yan saw this and said, Lord Thousand Transformations and Fairy Hong Yun, Heavenly Court's Goo Immortals, came after us. But Fairy Quibo was saved by us. That is the truth, right? He spoke plainly with no expression. He showed the arrogance of an expert. Even against a rank 8 existence, he displayed no fear. Fang Yuan did not have attitude goo, but his acting was profound and skillful. He could easily do it. He was the cause of Fairy Quibo's death, but he ended up acting like her benefactor. This was shameless, but Fang Yuan acted like it was the truth. Thousand Transformations' will went silent. Even though Fang Yuan had rank 7 cultivation level, the fame of Liu Guanyi allowed him to speak on equal terms with Thousand Transformations' will. If Thousand Transformations' ancestor was here personally, Fang Yuan might not have such a status. But Thousand Transformations' will and Thousand Transformations' ancestor were two different things. After thinking about it, Thousand Transformations' will broke the silence. How do you want to be rewarded? Fang Yuan's lips curled up. He smiled. His smile was bright like the sun. He was truly handsome. Even Dancer Hong Yun was dazed as she looked at him. I do not need a reward, but I have a suggestion, Fang Yuan said. What is it? Alliance, Fang Yuan said. Alliance? Thousand transformations will went silent again. Fang Yuan urged, Thousand transformations. Ancestor, you obtained reckless, savage demon venerable's true inheritance. You are an eyesore to heavenly court. Their attitude towards you is clear from their attack on Fairy Quibo. Because of Reverse Flow River, I was chased by Heavenly Court until I got here. We have a common enemy, that is Heavenly Court. Helping each other is helping ourselves. Isn't that true? I have a good time path method in my possession. I can slow down the rate of time in Lord Thousand Transformations Immortal Aperture to delay your tribulations. Furthermore, I have a luck path true inheritance. Ma Hongyun died in my hands. I have his portion of all living beings' luck. This is Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's true inheritance. Husband, Dancer Hong Yun was greatly moved by Fang Yuan's glib tongue. Lord Husband, I think that we can make an alliance, Ying Wuxi said, trying to convince Thousand Transformations will as well. Eventually, Thousand Transformations will spoke, but this was what he said. We can have an alliance, but our cooperation must be gradual. Liu Guanyi, you want to make use of me to deal with the Heavenly Court Gu Immortals? Why would I not know your plan? We can cooperate mildly first before we deepen it slowly. If our cooperation goes well, I can go and block the Heavenly Court Gu Immortals for you. If our cooperation is less than satisfactory, I will need to see your sincerity before we continue working together. Thousand Transformations. Ancestor was a rank 8 Gu Immortal. He was not easy to deceive. He was an old schemer. Not only did he expose Fang Yuan's plan, he even used the pressure of Heavenly Court to force Fang Yuan to relinquish some benefits. Sincerity? Fang Yuan smiled. Sincerity goes both ways. We saved Fairy Quibo. That is our biggest sincerity. What is yours? Fang Yuan avoided the topic of Heavenly Court and retaliated against Thousand Transformations will. Thousand Transformations will thought for a while. We can cooperate first like making transactions. What do you need? I will try to satisfy you.